guys, welcome back to another video. It's just turned November, the weather's starting to warm up, everyone's getting ready for summer, so I thought it's a very good idea to do a video about how to get shredded. So in order to get shredded or to cut down, to look the way you want to look for summer, to have that beach body, you need to have a plan in place. You can't just go about it or think that if you eat less it's going to happen for you, because it just won't. So in this video I'm going to go through what you need to do in order to get shredded or to lean up and get the body that you want to do, the foods that you should be eating and how much you should be eating, and I'll show you exactly what I'm eating and how I cook it so that I'm happy to eat it and be on a diet and not get sick of it. Let's get into it. Okay, there's 5 main things that we need to think about when we want to get shredded or lean up or get the body that we want to in order for summer. So the 5 are a calorie deficit, tracking your calories and or your macros, your training intensity, the cardio that you're doing, and also consistency through the whole process. Okay, number 1 is a calorie deficit. Now, all a calorie deficit is consuming or eating less food than the calories or food you're burning off throughout the day. So for example, if I'm eating 2,500 calories of food per day and I'm burning 3,000 calories equivalent in food, that means I would be in a 500 calorie deficit. And that is what you need in order to lose the fat or to make your body burn your excess body fat as energy. Number 2, you need to track your calories and, if possible, your macros. So all a calorie is a unit of energy that we talk about with food that is then used as energy with our day-to-day activities, so exercise or brushing our teeth, everything. Now, you need to be able to track the calories that you're eating in order to understand and to know and to be sure that you're eating the right amount of calories. Now, a little bit more advanced is our macros. So macros fall into 3 different categories. So we have protein, fats, and carbohydrates. So what we do with these and the percentages that we use of these will determine the way our body looks, because not all calories are created equally. So for example, if I'm eating 2,000 calories of eating mainly carbs and fat, my body will look extremely different and have extremely different body composition than if I was eating 2,000 calories of just protein and fats. So in order for us to achieve the goals that we want to do and look the way we want to look, we need to be very, very picky, so to speak, with the calories that we intake. So me personally, because I'm trying to cut down and I'm trying to lean up, I'm consuming 50% calories, 30% protein, and 20% fats. It's very easy for people to think that you should get rid of carbs and get rid of fats, but you don't want to do that. So the main reason is carbohydrates are our main source of energy. So that's what helps us go to the gym and have energy to do our day-to-day activities. And then fats are full of healthy omegas and healthy fats, which help with our hormone regulation, help with our bones, and help with our mind function and ability. So you don't want to just eliminate fat altogether. Protein is obviously the most important, and if you don't have enough protein, you just will lose muscle and you will burn the muscle instead of burning the fat. And if you do that, you're just going to look skinny. You lose body fat, but you will look skinny in the process, and you won't look the way that you want to. So my recommendation would be to use MyFitnessPal, and I can do another video on that if you want. Download MyFitnessPal so you can track all the calories that you're having, and then even better, track the macro percentages. So for cutting, what I would recommend would be a 50% carbs, 30% protein, and 20% fat ratio, and try and keep your calories at the exact same each day. Okay, number 3, training. So obviously training is an extremely important part of this. Now, most people think, or there's rumors around that you should change the way you're training in order to lean up. Maybe a lot of people think that you should do high reps and high intensity in order to burn more calories, but I would not recommend that at all. I would train exactly the same, train for hypertrophy and train for strength. And if anything, you just need to be making sure your workouts are even more intense. So if you're training half-hearted or training in a different way than you were previously, you're not going to be able to maintain that muscle. So when you're in a calorie deficit, it's very, very easy for your muscle to be burnt as fat and to waste, and you really don't want to do that. So you need to ensure that your workouts are intense, you're lifting heavy, and you're going extremely hard in the gym so that you maintain all the muscle that you have. During a cutting phase, we're not trying to put on muscle, we're just trying to maintain the muscle that we have while we're in a calorie deficit and burning the excess fat. Okay, number 4, cardio. Now, it's very, very easy for people to think that you shouldn't be doing cardio because you don't want to ruin your gains, but cardio is an extremely important factor in getting the body that you want or looking the way you want, regardless of whether you're bulking, so to speak, or in a cutting phase like we're talking about now. Now, why it's so important is it helps with your metabolism, it keeps everything going, it keeps your digestion working, it helps you burn more calories. So if you do this cardio, it's going to then force you to burn more calories, which is what we want to do, and during that time, it'll use the fat that we have on our body to use as energy, which is exactly what we want. Now, there's 2 different types of cardio that you can do that will help this. Number 1, everyone would have heard about it. It's high intensity interval training, or HIIT. So what that will be could be hill sprints or 20 or 50 meter sprints. So short, sharp activities over a short period of time that will help us burn fat. The other one, and probably the one that I recommend and what I use myself, is LISS. So low intensity steady state. So what that means is going for a walk, so a 45-minute walk, or getting on the treadmill at a low pace for 30 minutes, or an exercise bike for 30 minutes. So you're not trying to blow yourself out, you're just trying to keep it a nice steady pace and burn those calories over a sustained period of time. The reason why I like it better is it's a little bit easier to do, it's a little bit easier to stick to, and you're more likely to go for a walk or walk the dog than you are to go out and do hill sprints. And then the other reason is because it's just better on your body. It's less hard on your knees and hard on your back, and you're less likely to get injured and hurt your muscle progress by doing that kind of cardio. I recommend 30 to 40 minutes every day of this sort of cardio in order to keep the body ticking and keep the calories burning in order to get to where you want to be. Number 5, and in my opinion, the most important thing, that is consistency. It's so easy during a cutting phase to get frustrated and impatient because it's a slow process. You need to be in it for the long haul, and you need to do it the right way. It's very easy for us to drop our calories by 1,000. You will lose weight and you will lose the body fat, but you'll also lose your muscle in the meantime, and that's opposite of what we want to do. We need to take a steady approach and be consistent and be patient. Now, with that also comes the outside thing. So the consistency, not just in training, but in diet and the whole process. So for example, if I eat really, really healthy for 5 of the 6 days or 5 of the 7 days, Monday to Friday, I'm eating chicken and rice, veggies, steak, and eating really good and counting every calorie, doing my cardio, and then I come to the weekend and I go, oh, okay, I'm gonna have a burger and beers. Those 2,000 calories can blow the rest out, and it can just outweigh the good to an extent where you may as well not be doing anything. So if you really want to get to where you want to be, you need to be consistent from Monday through to Sunday, and it needs to be a long, slow process. You just need to trust it and have the end goal in mind throughout the whole time. Quick little recap. Number 1, calorie deficit. You must be in a calorie deficit in order to lose body fat. Now, I recommend a 300 to 500 calorie deficit for any stage of cutting. Number 2, track your calories and macros. If you don't track your calories, you will not lose weight, or you will lose weight, but it's so hard and it's so easy to slip up a little bit because some things are not what they seem to be when you're looking at them based on calories. Number 3, training. You need to keep your training intense. Don't change the way you're training. The only change that I would be doing is make sure they're more intense and you're lifting heavy, heavy weight for you. Number 4, cardio. Cardio is almost a must, I would say, because it helps you burn that excess body fat. It keeps your metabolism working, and it keeps all the digestion and stuff the way that's meant to be. Number 5, and the most important, consistency. You need to trust the process, trust what you have in place, and work hard, and limit your cheat meals and your beer and alcohol to the very, very limit. Alright, so now we're going to go to the shops. I'm going to talk you through how I shop when I'm cutting, show you the foods that I'm buying, and then I'll show you exactly how I cook it in order for me to be able to stick to it and enjoy eating the foods while I'm dieting. Alright, now when we're shopping, I find it best to start at the front shop, and work my way back. Now, I always start with getting the veggies, because it's obviously, for me anyway, the base of my meals, and I think it's also really, really important to have these in and keep them in there for fiber, and they're good complex carbohydrates. Now, I think it is extremely important that we have veggies in our diet. I think it's also as equally as important to be eating the foods that you'd like to eat. So don't just eat broccoli because you think, well, while you're cutting, you should eat broccoli. If you'd prefer to eat beans and carrot, then do that. You just need to make sure that you're eating food that you enjoy eating, because this way you're way more likely to stick to a diet. In terms of proteins and meats, again, same thing applies. Eat the meats that you want to eat and that you enjoy eating, because that'll help you enjoy the food a lot more, and it'll let you stick to the diet. Now, I prefer lean proteins. So what I mean by this is proteins that don't have as much fat in them, or on the outside of the meat. So lean chicken breast as opposed to chicken thighs, and lean beef mince as opposed to 80-20 beef mince. And for like steaks, for example, I would be choosing like rump steak over Scotch fillet steak. Again, this will depend on your current goals. So if you are wanting to bulk or cut, and again, also it'll depend on whether you're trying to do a keto diet or not. Now, the next big thing that I would speak about is the way in which I like to make the meals taste nicer. So I try and stick clear of creamy sauces and like tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, mayos, aioli, because they're extremely high in fat and sugar, and the fats that they're high in are fats that are bad for us. So trans fats, unsaturated fats, and they really easily blow out the calories in a meal. Now, in order to make the foods taste good and get away from those sauces, I use dry spices. So salt, pepper, garlic powder, chili flakes, mixed herbs, taco seasonings like curry powder, Nando's seasonings for chicken. Those are the things that you can add into a meal to make the veggies and the meat taste a lot better, which again helps you stick to the meal. There's no point making a meal that's boiled chicken, just baked chicken breast, boiled broccoli, and plain white rice, because very, very few people will stick to that, and they won't stick to it for a long period of time. So just to wrap up, I would say focus on buying foods that you will enjoy eating, and find creative ways to make the meals taste better without blowing out the calories. Okay, I'm going to quickly take you through what I got. So for protein, I'd like trying to mix it up, because I don't want to eat the same thing every meal, because I'll just get sick of it. So we've got chicken breast, tuna. You can use any kind of tuna. I just like using the big ones because obviously it's cheaper, more value. You can use flavored tuna if you want, but you just have to be careful of the extra calories that it has in it. 10% beef mince. We still want to keep a little bit of fat in our diet, so that's a good way to get it in. And then eggs. Eggs for breakfast, and then if you need extra calories or extra protein throughout the day. Bananas, they're going to be for our smoothies of a night time and good complex carbohydrate. And then broccoli, snow peas, carrot, white potato, and rice as our carbs. Now, you can notice that there's still a lot of carbs here. So when you're cutting, you don't, like I said before, you don't want to try and cut carbs out, because they're still going to help you get through the day and make sure that you work out properly and that you have energy. And another big one that people might be shocked by is the bread. And some people say you want to cut bread out when you're trying to lose weight, but for me, it keeps me sane. It's something that I really like, and I enjoy having it with breakfast. So I keep it in there and just make sure that I don't go over my carbs everywhere else in the meal. Almond milk, again, low calories. It's good with my shake and it helps me get a bit of calcium in because there's pretty much no dairy here. Veggies, frozen veggies, easiest way to just get them in if you're trying to throw them in. I'll use that with the beef mince. And then these here are the most important thing, I think, especially when cutting. So I try and steer clear of sauces and mayo and stuff like that because they're really, really high in fat and sugar, and it can blow the whole meal's calories out and macros out very, very easily. So dry seasonings are the perfect thing, I find. So for example, taco seasoning with the mince, or Nando's seasoning, or Chipotle seasoning with the chicken, and it only increases the serve by 16 calories. So 16 calories is really nothing in the big scheme of things, especially when it makes the meals taste so much better and it makes you not get sick of them. I try and use 3 or 4 different spices per week just to keep it interesting and keep myself happy and enjoying the food. I'm going to time lapse this. I'll prep it all up, time lapse it and talk over it just so I can explain a little bit, and then we'll get into the cooking. Let's do it. One last thing is supplements. I know everyone's going to ask about it, so I'll run through it quickly. Supplements aren't necessary. You don't have to get them in. You don't have to take a protein if you're getting enough protein in your diet. I do it because it's an easy thing to have after the gym. It's easily digestible and it's a quick, easy source of protein. So I'll do a nice lean protein. This one is 24 grams of protein per serve, hardly any sugar, fats and hardly any carbs. I'll have that after my gym, as well as I'll do that as a before bed shake. OxyShred, that is a fat burner. Now, it's not going to work as a fat burner unless your diet's good, so you have to make sure your diet is good. But it's a good source of caffeine, good to have before the gym if you don't like taking pre-workout, and it speeds your metabolism up and gets you burning more fat and burning more energy throughout the day. And then creatine. This is one that I would recommend in a cut because it helps you maintain as much muscle as you can. This is a creatine compound, so there's 2 different types of creatine in this, but a normal creatine monohydrate that you get from a supermarket is fine, and I would take it before gym every day. Don't skip it, don't skip days, don't cycle it, just take it every day while you're cutting. In my opinion, not necessary, but I find that it helps me when I'm trying to cut and trying to maintain muscle. So I'm going to show you a little prep version of it. So what we're going to do is 3 different meals for our big meal. So we're going to have chicken breast, obviously uncooked at the moment. Chicken breast with garlic and ginger rice with a sauteed carrot and snow peas. Second meal will be tuna and rice with garlic broccoli, which I'll show you how to make. And then the third meal, or third main meal, will be oven roasted seasoned potatoes with lean beef mince, which I'll flavour with either taco seasoning or curry powder. Then the fourth meal, or breakfast actually, will be 3 eggs on toast, a protein shake, and then before bed I'll have another protein shake with banana in it and almond milk. I'm going to show you how I cook this, and then I'll speed it up and show you the finished product. Okay, a couple of little cooking hacks before I actually start cooking. So in order to make the food taste a lot better and just make it not so boring and hard to eat throughout the week, I use a lot of dry seasoning. So the potatoes that are going to go in the oven, they've got salt, pepper, garlic powder, chili flakes and mixed herbs. And then for my broccoli, which is normally a really boring yuck vegetable, just put salt, pepper and garlic and a little bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit, and actually wrap that up in foil and cook it in the oven rather than boiling it. There's the chipotle seasoning for the chicken, which obviously makes it taste a million times better. And then over here for the rice, again, rice is going to be a boring thing if you've got to eat the same thing 5 times throughout the week. So what I do is before I cook it, or while I'm starting to cook it, put a teaspoon or so of both mixed garlic and minced ginger, just to make it a little bit more less boring and a little bit more flavorful throughout the week. And then for my veggies, so I just got normal snow peas and carrots, and I'll cook them in a little bit of soy sauce and a tiny bit of sesame oil. Obviously, don't use too much of these because it'll blow the calories out, but it'll just make it taste so much better, and it'll help you stick to the meal plan. Alright, here is the finished product. So as you can see, I'm cutting and there's still so much food here. So I need to make sure that everyone knows that you don't need to eat nothing or eat the tiniest amounts of food to be able to be in a calorie deficit. So breakfast, we got a protein shake, 3 eggs on toast, which is about 700 calories. I'll put the exact macros up the top. Then for meal 1, tuna, rice, and the garlic broccoli. Again, I'll put the macros at the top. This one, we've got curry, beef mince with some mixed vegetables and oven roasted potatoes. And then the last meal for dinner, I have sauteed green snow peas and carrot with garlic and ginger rice and chipotle chicken. So as you can see, there's still heaps of food there, and that's only 2,600 calories. Obviously, as I get further into the cut, the portion sizes will decrease, but I just want to make very, very clear that you can still have nice tasting, enjoyable food and slim down, tone up, and get the body that you want. I hope that you've taken something out of this video. I hope that you like the meals. If you like, try them. Let me know what you think. And if anyone needs any help, or you have an idea of what video I should do next, or how I can help you in any way, please let me know. Thanks for watching.